Hey everyone, welcome back to the Growing Together podcast with me, Sunny Vasquez.
And me, Cesar Santos.
A podcast where we talk about everything under the sun related to growth and becoming the best version of yourself. We've been absent for a couple weeks,
Yes,
about 3 weeks, which is something that was giving me such anxiety because I didn't want people to think we had given up on this.
No, I don't think people thought we gave up. Those that follow us on Instagram probably saw some updates. So,
I feel like I didn't really alert a lot of people, but if you're watching on video, you'll see that our little background is a bit different. Actually, in a bed right now. We moved to Nashville.
Yes.
It's so exciting.
Very exciting.
So this is our first podcast in our new place. This is the first time actually that Cesar and I are living by ourselves together.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah. We're
to say the least.
It's funny because I feel like a child, but I'm 25 and Caesar's almost going to be 30, but this is just really a monumental point in our relationship, but also just in our lives, I think.
Yeah.
So I think we've just kind of felt I want to say free range chickens, but I know that's not
what?
That's not the term. Just feel like we feel a little bit more we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I would say it's more in growth is happening.
Yeah.
Continued
growth is
good
happening.
growth going up.
Going up, moving on up in the world. I keep telling my parents because whenever good things were happening, I feel like we started off the new year very strong.
Yes.
Just a lot going on, but a lot of good things that we needed in our lives going on, and it was moving very quickly. Yeah, so I felt like I kept on telling my mom Sunny, 2023 is coming up all Sunny and Caesar. This is the year for us, and I feel like it has been so far. We moved actually though because Caesar got a job.
Yes, I got a new job here in Nashville,
which it's so exciting because Cesar was more freelancing and working on his own channel this year, but we definitely needed some more income.
Yes, in short.
In order to continue to pursue our dreams. And Cesar found a really great opportunity, and it's really down the avenue of what he does with production and social media and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like that was kind of a blessing as well, and the fact that everything you're doing is not just some job that you took, but it's something that could really push the career that you want forward.
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons that when I was approached by it and reached out to by the company, that I had to take it. It was one of those.
Yeah.
It was an amazing opportunity.
I think it was funny because me and Cesar had kind of decided for a while that we wanted to move out of Vegas, and it was all about where, and then we had finally decided, Tennessee could be really good because we like how rural it is, but also there's city, and the idea of possibly building our own house one day here. You didn't even you hadn't really even applied to it. Someone reached out to you about this position, and then at that point it became if you get it, we'll go.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even I feel like there wasn't that pressure of you to get the job, but it was if I do, then this is going to be a great opportunity and we're going to go.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like it's turned into a podcast about just updating you guys.
No, but it's really exciting. So me and Cesar are in our new apartment. This is our room. We have a second bedroom that we turned into an office, and then we plan to use this space. We have a very open living room to actually film our podcast, but if you haven't moved before or haven't had to buy furniture before, it's very expensive. So pretty much the only furniture Cesar and I have is this bed that we sleep in, and then the office furniture that we had, which was our desks and our desk chairs. But we definitely want to give this 2023 our podcast in our own space really great studio kind of setup, but it's not here yet.
Yeah, right now
we got a lot to work on.
Still got a lot going on, and to get to that point. So
so I kind of just wanted to talk about, I think when it comes to moving, especially moving across the country, the thing that comes to mind is I was literally thinking about this on the car on the way home today of a title for this episode, and it was something moving on from the past. And I feel like that's essentially what we did. Cesar lived in Vegas his entire life. And I had recently moved there 3 years ago. I was almost living there for 3 years. And I think that Vegas definitely was for me. So for me, it was when we were gonna figure it out, like, oh shit, we're gonna move, I was like, I've got to let everything from Vegas kind of go. And I've
Yeah.
got to like leave it in the past and like take this, like, it was your opportunity, but also take this opportunity to really just kind of have a clean slate and a new start.
Yeah.
And does moving feel like that to you? Do you feel like it was like a chance to like really start all over?
In a sense it was, and it is obviously. But it's also kind of, there's always that like thinking, there's always that thinking that everything's going to be okay for me at the end of the day. And for us, obviously,
Yeah.
so for me, it was more of just obviously this opportunity, but also, yes, like it's a clean start. It's a new place
Yeah.
to learn and to grow and to meet and network and all these things. And I'm hoping that for you too as well, because obviously you still are going to be working from home.
Yeah.
And you have amazing opportunities coming your way.
Yeah.
And you'll delve into that later on, obviously, but
Yeah.
when the time's right. But yeah, it's just taking it all in. You know, it's for me this past week has just been taking everything in and seeing like just how much opportunity there is, especially where I work, especially even here too in this area where we live and all of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I saw it as a fresh start because I think everything just got so confusing in Vegas for me. I just felt like I needed change in order to move forward. And I think a lot of people that, like, whenever I talked to them, I was like, I just need to get out of Vegas because I felt like that was the solution to my problem. Like, oh, you're running away from your problems? It's like, no, I'm not running away, but I want to find an environment where I feel like I can thrive. I want to find an environment that feels like it was meant for me. And I think something that I've always struggled with was feeling like I had a home, and that sounds like bad. Like, I don't want my parents, for instance, if they're listening to this, like, oh, I never felt like I had a home. But I feel like in reference to like all my life and the like communities I've been part of and like the places I've lived or, you know, even for short periods of time, I just never really felt like I belonged anywhere. Like, I always felt out of place. Like, even when I go back home now to like a Apopka and I'm with my mom, my life is so different that I feel like I don't belong here because that's like, not that I no longer want, but the version of me that lived in Apopka isn't there anymore. Yeah. And the version of me that lived in Tallahassee isn't there anymore. And the version of me that lived in Vegas is no longer there anymore. So when you go back and you visit those places, you know, you think about those versions of yourself. What were you doing? And was that the person you wanted to be? Or you headed in the, are you heading like upwards in life, or are you moving downwards compared to where you were when you were at that spot? And like with Apopka, I think I'm moving upwards. But I've always just felt like I didn't really have a home, and I felt like, okay, like one day I'll go somewhere and it's just gonna click. Like, it's just gonna click that it's home. And I don't think that's true, but that's the way I kind of envisioned it in my head going. But I feel like, right, like when we first got here, we went grocery shopping at Publix, and I'm like, okay, this is home. Because I love Publix.
Yeah, Publix is awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had one like that in Vegas growing up.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't have anything like that, though.
But the thing is, it reminds me of home because, like, when I grew up in Apopka, we had Publix. And when my mom didn't want to cook, she would get, like, Publix chicken and the sides, and that was, like, dinner. It reminded me of that. So I was like, okay, like, this feels familiar, and I think the familiarity, like, felt nice, too. Like, it's nice to go out of your comfort zone, but it's also nice to find things that remind you of good points in your life, you know?
And I would say the same, too, growing up. I always felt like, I mean, again, I wasn't, you guys moved a lot. That's one thing, too. I remember you lived in California, and then you guys moved to Florida. And I felt like, and then obviously for college, you moved, like, away, too, as well. But for me, I kind of stayed in one place my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
For, like, the longest, for this whole time until we got here. So for me, it was kind of, I would honestly say like frightening in a certain aspect. You know, it was because we're driving across the country. We stayed at some really cool places along the way. Met some people you worked with, but it wasn't, it's new. It's a new thing for me. Yeah. You know,
it's funny that you say that because I never really got that from you.
What do you mean?
Like, I thought you were just like chill, like, okay, let's just go.
No, it was like, I have family in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So that was difficult, you know, to like just kind of be like peace out, you know. Obviously it's not a goodbye like forever, you know, but like you'll come visit or whatever the case is. But still, it was more of that's I think what was the most frightening thing about it.
Was leaving your family.
I've never been away from them longer than a certain amount of time. You get me?
I think that's where like me and you just differ so much. It's not that I don't miss my family. Like I love my like mom and my dad and my sister and my brother. But I think because I've been gone from my house for so long, like I went to college when I was 18 and essentially like never lived back home again.
Yeah.
So like I've been 18 to 25.
Math is hard.
7 years. Like I've been like away from them for 7 years. And I mean, granted, like when I was in college, it was 4 hours away. It wasn't like a huge like amount. And then I moved across the country to Las Vegas. So that was even farther. I think that I did it. The thing is, I did it because it's what my parents weren't expecting me to do. Like my parents would have like probably bet money that I would have been the one to stay in the same town because it was comfortable. But I knew when I went to college that I had to get out, and like the same thing, like after college I knew that I had to do things that like scared me. And so I think now I just take these like moving doesn't seem so crazy because no matter where I am, I'm really not like, I already wasn't living near family, for instance.
Yeah.
So like for me, when you're like, let's move to Nashville, I'm like, okay, like if anything, I'm closer to like my parents because my dad lives in Texas.
Yeah.
And my mom lives in Florida. I think both of them are like 12-hour drives.
We're definitely a lot closer. I mean, flights are like...
Yeah, flights are probably a little bit like quicker, but I'm a little bit closer on that side. And I don't know, I just feel like it's good to like, I feel like everyone needs to get like, go away from your family. No, but like do things that like you are scared of or that you just are nervous about because you're so used to having like people, like familiarity around you.
Yeah, community. That's the thing is like, I felt like there was a community there that I grew up with for years. But it's crazy though, because over the past, I would say definitely say like since the pandemic, a lot of my neighbors moved to Texas, to different states. And whether it was for work or maybe their, significant other or their wife or whatever the case is, like they had to move for work or whatever it was. So I've seen a lot of people that I've even grown up with move recently too. So like for me, that was one of the other reasons why I was like, you know what, it's going to be okay. Or there's an amazing opportunity. I can't let this up. And I think it's going to be good for us, at the end of the day. It's going to be okay. It's going to be good. It's going to be great, actually. Not just okay, great.
I feel like it's just a whole different... I feel like for the first time, like things, for when I've said this before, but I feel like they're looking up and that I can see a clearer picture of what our future looks like. And that feels better knowing that I think we're moving in the right direction. Whereas I feel like when we were in Vegas, it was... not stagnant, but it was very hard to figure out how we could change like our situation.
Yeah.
And that was very frustrating because I had a lot of like moments where I was like, I feel like I'm doing all the right things. And like, for instance, owning a home felt impossible in Vegas because it's so freaking expensive. And there were so many obstacles I felt in Vegas. And there's not to say I'm not going to try to go over obstacles, but it just felt like too much, especially like with... I mean, I'm pretty young. I don't know about you because you're about to be 30, but I'm in my mid-20s and I feel like I've experienced things that not a lot of like, I hope my kids never have to experience, like the pandemic for one, graduating in that, and then the potential of like recession right now. Like that's terrifying because while I'm not like a recent grad, like I'm still getting my feet wet in my career. And so thinking about job security and stuff is so stressful. But yeah, I think that like it's important, like when we talk about like moving on and kind of letting go of the things that hold you back, and that's what I'm trying to do, is that I'm someone who really, really, really holds on to the things that hurt me, especially. Like I don't have a photographic memory in the least, but I have a photographic memory when it comes to the things that pain me.
Yeah.
And so, like, when we were moving, even on the drive, I was like, I really got to let all of this go. I've got to let all of this, like, hurt and, like, really just take, like, let Nashville be this place of healing for me.
Yeah.
And let me live my dream of being a country music star. Well, maybe not a country music star, but it feels good. I think a new place, it's like, it's challenging, you know, like we've done some exploring, but like it feels like there's like endless possibilities. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like being somewhere new, it's just like there's so many different things that could happen?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, just even in this vicinity that we're in, I was walking around the area here the other day. Went to go talk to the apartment manager. I had a question, and I met this really cool guy in the lobby because we were waiting, and he was having to do something similar in regards to asking a question. And that was really cool. I connected with someone on the first, literally, I think first 2 days we were here because we were still moving so much stuff around. So that's just with people that live here, and then there's people that live, like, obviously, that people that I work with, amazing group of people that I work with. And then there's just other people we haven't met yet. And then for you too as well. I was telling Sunny, I was like, have you gone on findafriend.com?
Yeah, I need to find friends here now. I feel like I've talked about this with the people I work with because like I work remote. That's the struggle of being an adult and trying to find friends when you work remotely. And that's probably the only benefit of going into an office, but it's only a benefit if you like your coworkers. Like if you like end up working with people you don't like you wouldn't want to be in office with them. But yeah, I mean, I had the chance to meet Harlan, which is my coworker.
Oh yeah, in the drive here.
Like
That was
my
awesome.
partner in crime when it comes to like our job, and that was like so amazing. I
was
really
really
loved
cool.
meeting him, because he lives in Texas, and we stayed at his place because that was so nice of him to let us stay.
Yeah, that was so nice.
But yeah, I feel like it's hard as an adult to like find places to meet people because like, am I supposed to go up to people in grocery stores or like? I mean, you probably could at like a bar, but even then, it's like. Yeah, it's just hard. And I have someone I know lived here in Nashville, but she lived during the pandemic, and she was like, it was just hard to make friends because it was like pandemic. On top of everything, no one wants to like be close to each other.
You know, one place to meet people.
What?
We were just there too. I mean, I wouldn't tell.
Church.
Yeah.
I'm not to say I don't want to be friends with people that I just have a struggle of like I don't know how to talk.
I think we all have this problem. I know my first week at this new job that I have, it was hard. I'll be honest, 100% honest. It was hard just trying to like not. I guess like I can talk to anyone in the sense, but
finding like a entry into like
yeah,
conversation.
in the
with
conversation,
someone.
And I think it's just not a human problem. I think it's a problem a lot of us have. I feel confident. I know I'm confident because I've talked to strangers in the street before, like, and I can talk. I've talked to people at church before, and. So I think it's just more of it's when you get in your head.
Why do you think I sat in the back today in church though?
That's what's
because
funny.
I didn't want to talk to anyone because I know when they do like
I knew you did that
like,
for a reason. I said, "Hey, do you want to move up?" You're
no.
like, "No." I'm like, "Let's move up." Like, why do you want to go in the back?
No, because this is the way my mind works when we're in mass. So like, I know at the point in the mass they're gonna be like, and like peace be with you, and then like wish like offer your neighbors like a sign of peace or whatever. I don't want to talk to anyone. Like I just want to be there because I don't know. It's just really uncomfortable for me. Like even though like you're in the setting where people like are supposed to be nicer. Like
supposed to be nice.
Yeah. I sat in the back because like I don't want to I don't want to like I just want to be like by myself. Like that's kind of one of the things that I don't like to. I realized I wasn't even talking to the microphone. That's kind of one of the things that I don't like to share with other people is like I just like to like kind of like in those settings I like to like just
be present
and like in like the moment and like allow my thoughts to kind of like simmer, I guess. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, it's like that's one of those places like where, and I also think it's not as easy because like when I was in college, for instance, at FSU, they had like a Catholic community, and I was part of it, and it was easier to make friends in like the Catholic Church that way. But like here, like they probably have something of the sort, but
I mean they have like little festivals like St. Patrick's Day. It's coming up, and it's coming up, and they have like a little festival going on and stuff like that. So
I also like here's my thing, and this is like not right of me to say, like I want to put that out there, but I always feel like when you meet people in those settings, it doesn't feel genuine because like
what do you mean?
Because I feel like they have like not an ulterior motive, but like I question whether they actually like the person that I am, because like when I was in college and I like was in the Catholic Church, I felt like I didn't really have like friends. Like I had people I would talk to, but I didn't know if they were friends with me for the sake of like just being a nice person, or if they actually like wanted to be friends with me. I found it harder to make friends that way because I felt like it wasn't genuine friendship. But that could all be in my mind. That's just
I
the
think
way
it's all
that
in your mind. Yeah, no, I mean, like again, I've met some amazing people in the Catholic community that I was a part of for a while, and though they were all genuine, I still connect with them. A lot of them invited me to gatherings and stuff like that. Sometimes I couldn't make it, but they were still invited. I think it's genuine. I don't, unless like you kind of feel like maybe it's for a different reason or a different cause or whatever the case is. But I mean, for the most part, I think we should give people the benefit of the doubt, especially in communities like that.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I have a lot of like insecurities regarding like making friends and what other people think of me. I'm working on it. But like, so in those settings, I feel like I don't want to have like a friendship because like you feel bad because I don't have any friends or something like that. Like that's my biggest fear. Someone being a pity friend. I don't want pity friend. I want real friends. So like, don't pity me.
Don't pity me.
Don't pity me. But back on the subject, I feel like we just like kind of went on a tangent right there. What do you think was the most difficult part of like the moving for you?
Besides like loading up the U-Haul?
Yeah, besides the actual physical
besides
moving
physically
of
moving things up here. I think I messed my knee up, by the way. I'm still healing from that, moving because we live in an upstairs unit, and
I watched Cesar carry all the boxes.
My back. It was like the best workout, but like painful for my knees. But anyways, I think the most difficult part was like physically was the moving part and obviously driving. But like I would say it got to me as we were driving because again, like I was mentioning earlier, just like being far away from those that have cared about me for like a long time. Again, it's just it's different, you know. Like it's different when it's like, hey, I'm gonna go visit somebody and like you fly. You know, when I used to fly to visit you, it's different. I'll be gone for like a week. But when it's like for how we plan forever, I do ultimately want to build a house out here or find a house or something down the line, grow in the path that I've chosen and continue to be creative and where possible and just be great.
I mean, how are you handling it? Like, how does it?
I think I'm handling it okay. I'm obviously we talk. I talk to you all the time about it. I feel like I have at least. So I have you, which is great, which is the most important thing actually. So we hope to be married soon. That's the other thing too as well.
If we ever get married, we can literally have such a long engagement at this point. I did not want a long engagement, but weddings cost money, and I'm not willing to sacrifice the fact that I really want a wedding.
You want a really nice wedding, too.
I just want a reason for everyone to come together. So that's
could have just got married by that dolphin.
I know we could have literally just got married in Vegas before we left, but I just can't do it that way. I was gonna say though, the drive here was very scary. I literally thought we were gonna die about a number of times. 1,000 times, but the most. Like the one where I was like we might actually die here is we drove from Vegas to Albuquerque the first day. So Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the weather was fine when we arrived. And then the next morning we got up at like 4:30 to start the drive to Dallas. And it was like there were little flurries when we were leaving like the city of Albuquerque, leaving our hotel, and I was like, oh, this will be fine. But then as we got on the highway, it started snowing really, really hard, and we couldn't see anything because it was dark, and you could barely see the roads, and we were surrounded by semi-trucks. And so I told Cesar, I was like, you have to pull over like in the next exit because I can't do this. Like I am going to like have a panic attack. Like you have to pull over.
And I did.
And he was like, no, Sunny, like if I pull over, like no. I'm like, no, just do it. So we pull into, of course, the one rest stop that has like nothing. It's just one tiny gas station that's not open. The pumps are closed because it's freezing outside and it's snowing. And there's like one truck driver that's pulled over there. And I think he's probably sleeping. And Cesar was like, if we don't leave this spot right now, they don't clear the exits very often. So we'll get stuck here in the snow. And like we had a U-Haul trailer attached to my Jeep. So like, of course, I'm like So we have to do it. So then we drive for like 45 minutes in the snow. It's so terrifying.
Longer than that, I think. It was way longer than
Was
45 minutes.
it?
Yeah. They said to me it felt like forever.
Well, I think it was
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
but
you sure? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think it was only really bad for 45 minutes.
Okay.
And
Oh, I had a death grip on the steering wheel
yeah,
because
Caesar
it was,
was
that
like,
sketchy. It was,
because like we just had to follow the cars in front of us. We couldn't see anything. So we had to follow the trucks and let them, like the semi trucks, like clear the roads essentially because they could like go. And it was crazy. So I was very scared. And then the third day, it was just pouring rain the entire drive. So, yeah, it was very terrifying getting here. And I was like, I just hope we make it here. Like, let us just get to Nashville because it was just
safe in town. Yeah, we saw a few overturned trucks, an accident or two on the way here. We saw, for me, like the physical amount of driving that I had to do. Again, I ended up using the tripometer on the car, and it was I posted it on my Instagram this morning. It was like 1900 miles or something like that, and 32 hours of just driving, just the car on. So like rest stops, gas, idling the car and stuff like that. So it's crazy. It blows my mind because I've actually never driven that much before. Well, actually, no. I guess when we drove from when I drove you from Florida to Vegas, I guess.
Yeah, when we drove from Florida to Vegas, probably around the
that.
same distance.
I liked it. I had fun. It was sketchy driving with the U-Haul. I highly recommend you balance your load when you're towing in a U-Haul.
I mean, I never want to drive that much again. I literally like.
The thing is, I love road trips.
I like road trips, but like it's different than having like a road trip. Like the thing is, we had a U-Haul attached. My car was full of stuff, so it's not really fun at that point.
Yeah, you're right.
And yeah, I like driving when no one's on the road, which is why I like driving really early because then you can get there usually quicker. Like the first day of driving though was pretty great.
No, it was.
Like, we got there like pretty like we left at like 4:30 in the morning and we got to like Albuquerque by like 3.
Do you remember what happened though when we're driving about to get up to right after
Caesar literally
the Hoover Dam?
We were still in Vegas and he was like, I don't think the taillights on the U-Haul are working. And mind you, it's dark as outside. And I'm just like, what do you mean you don't think they're working? And the only people on the road at this point, again, are semi-trucks. So I'm like, shit, if they don't see us brake or something, like, I'm thinking we're going to run over. And so we finally get to, like, a gas station where we can check that everything's working. And it was working. But it was very stressful because we're, like, just driving down in darkness. And, yeah, we're, like, in the middle of nowhere, too. Because, like, when you're getting closer to Boulder City, there's, like, nothing.
There's nothing, yeah. It's just dark. And yeah, that's where that was the first thing that worried me on this trip. And it's funny because you're saying like we should have made a bingo card, or was it?
I was like we should have made a bingo card for everything that would happen. Like me getting anxious over like some type of like crazy weather or like. But I think that overall, like this really has just kind of been updating about like where our lives are at. But I think it's gonna be really good for both of us to be here in Nashville. We're really excited to have our own place and to really just work on like the stuff that we want to work on and that's going to be, I don't know, make us happy. I think that's one of like my goals too this year is just to do more things that make me happy and also like, yeah, just do more things that make me happy. Like little things.
Little things. I think more importantly, I think for you, the goal I have for you
oh, now Caesar's setting goals for me.
Is to, obviously you work remote.
Yeah.
And you're still going to be working remote.
Yeah.
So finding a friend group or a person, I don't know.
Caesar,
findafriend.com. Hey, friends. You know what? We're going to use this outlet. We're going to use this at our podcast. If you're in the in the Nashville area,
be my friend.
Leave a comment down below. If you're watching this on whatever platform or hearing this, reach out to Sunny. So, not just anyone. Don't be a creep.
Not just anyone. Caesar now has guidelines.
No, because I don't want some like random person who's like creeping. What if they're creeping on you?
I gotta find some friends here in Nashville. So we can have dinner parties and cool little
game nights. I don't know, things like that.
I love a good game night. Yeah. So if you're in the Nashville area, let us know.
Yeah.
We want to be friends. I feel like you really singled me out with saying Sunny needs friends as if you don't need friends.
That's true. Exactly. So I guess for both of us, if you want to reach out.
But I guess because you work in office, you have more attempts to actually make friends with people.
Yeah.
I have friends. There's none of them live here.
Yeah, they all.
Like all of my friends are so scattered
Georgia,
across like the country.
Michigan,
Yeah.
Nevada. Those that the people that you had.
Yeah, Nevada.
Yeah.
It's crazy, crazy,
But
crazy,
yeah.
crazy. Our life is just. Who knew? Who knew we'd be here?
Yeah, I would.
In 2023.
It's funny though because I had a list of the 5 states I'd moved to, and Tennessee I think was like second or third. So I remember we were talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, my decision to move to Tennessee was based merely on the fact that it was on like the 10 cheapest states to live in. So I was like, cheap is for me.
Cheapest for me.
And it's beautiful too.
beautiful,
Like
yeah.
Tennessee is beautiful. There's
is.
there's so many different places too we could travel within the state, like Chattanooga, Knoxville, all of those places. Actually, I have some friends that live here. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a thing. I have a friend
In Knoxville.
that lives here. No, in Nashville.
Who?
He messaged me like when I
Oh,
said
yeah, you're right,
and I
it's
was like,
true.
so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have no friends, but I do have a friend that lives in Knoxville, and I think her fiance lives here in Nashville. So I'm already ahead. I'm
already ahead.
I just have to wait for. I don't know if she's gonna move to Nashville after vet school. I think the only way is up, and that Cesar and I are gonna do really great things, and I'm excited to see where this podcast continues to grow. Eventually we'll have our own little like setup that isn't
The bed here.
this, but I was like, this is our makeshift
I like this vibe, though.
studio.
Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
this is our makeshift studio for today. Given that it's the only piece of furniture that we have, we do have an air mattress.
Yeah, we slept on that the first night.
Yeah,
here.
like that we slept on, and now it's still in our living room because we don't have a couch. Yeah, I don't know, but I know a lot of people are moving to Nashville or like just the Tennessee area because it's cheap and it is very nice and all is good. The future is here and we're gonna kill it.
Yes, we're gonna do great things here.
Do you have any last words?
Any last words? Like it's like the last podcast. No, I mean, thank you guys for tuning in. For those of you who have consistently listened to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're hearing this, or even watching this on YouTube, we appreciate it and thank you guys for joining us on our journey of growth.
Yeah, I think that you guys are in for a treat too because I think our lives are just gonna change before your eyes. I feel like it's already changed so much. I feel like we're in such a different spot than we were when we first started this podcast. We were shooting the podcast in Noah's house, which is your brother, because we were living there, and now we have our own place. So like we're moving up in the world, and that feels really good. And I just think that our podcast will reflect how we're making changes in our life as well. We appreciate everyone who listens. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. I think we're at like 103 subscribers, and that's exciting. But yeah, please subscribe, or you can enable automatic downloads on like Apple Podcasts, I think, and YouTube. So yeah, just support us, leave a comment, let us know what you like, what you don't like. Anything really is valuable to us. So this has been Growing Together with me, Sunny Vasquez.
And me, Cesar Santos.
We hope to see you again next week.
See you guys later.